Uh, welcome, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Lesson Over Time with your host, Miss Vicky. Time. It teaches us so many lessons. So, Lesson Over Time with your host, Miss Vicky. Time. It teaches us so many lessons. So, Lesson Over Time with your host, Miss Vicky.
Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to another episode of Lessons Over Time. I am the host, Miss Vicky. I'm also known as Mom, but I'm better known as Grandma. And there is a disrespectful fly in the house. As soon as I sat down and turned on record, the fly is flying around. So you might see him fly around. He's being really disrespectful. Anyways, I was laying in bed this morning and I said, you know what? It looks cloudy outside. It looks like it's going to rain. It never rains in Southern California. I said, but you know what? Let me just get up and go take my walk extra early before it does rain. And just laying in the bed, and I kind of was wishing it was rain. I started thinking there was a time when I was younger, I used to be so scared of the rain, especially if it was thunder and lightning, because the thunder was so loud. The lightning was so scary. And I didn't understand the beauty of the rain or even the significance or the necessity of rain, because I'm like, God, you know, why it's got to rain? Because now we walk to school, it's going to be flooding. The cars are going to go by and splash you. And the streets, you know, just gets flooded and everything is just the dirt, the everything. And I didn't understand how necessary rain was until my mother, she tried to explain the rain comes, and after the rain, everything gets washed and clean, and it's God's way of cleaning his earth. And I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense, you know. And I was explaining that same scenario to my grandson when he was asking me about the rain. And I said, that's the way that God cleans his earth. I said, as we get out here and water the grass, God sometimes does it for us when he sends the rain. And then when I remember when I was younger, after the rain, would come a beautiful rainbow. Now, we don't see that anymore, at least in California, like I did when I was a younger kid. And I would love to share that with my grandson, the beauty of the rainbow, because the rainbow to us meant that the rain was over and now it was going to be sunshine. And we knew we were heading into the next season of summer. And so those were the things that I learned, you know, that the rainbow, the rain was necessary. And just like in life, as you get older, you will realize that the storms in your life are necessary. They're not here to harm or to scare us. They're here to clean out some things in life. I know for us back when we would have bad rain at my mom's house, and you would see the leak in the ceiling, and you would know that's where, you know, we needed to have some repairs done. You would see cracks in certain places after the rain. You would see a lot of things, and you would know, okay, those are the things that I need to repair. And that's just like storms in life. After you go through a storm in your life, you sit back and you will see cracks in your life that needed to be fixed, things that needed to be, that were washed away, that needed to go, things that needed to be repaired. That's what a storm is going to show you in life. And after you start fixing some of the things and repairing the things in your life, you will see the beauty of a rainbow to let you know, hey, the sun is going to shine in your life again. So when you go through a storm, I know some storms are so unbearable. The storms of a divorce, a storm of a loss of either, a parent, a child, or whatever, just any kind of loss can be your storm. Storms of going through brokenness, storms of just any kind of storm. Try and learn what that lesson is. What is it in my life that needs to be fixed? Because when the next storm comes along, you will be able and you will be ready and you will be prepared. You won't have to be as scared for. And now there were storms that I repeated in life because I didn't learn a lesson. I didn't know that there was a lesson to be learned. So guess what? When the next storm came, it caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for it. And again, I was scared and but each time a storm would come and I would learn to grow and to elevate and rise above it, and to know that don't panic, don't get out the ship, don't, just ride the waves of the storm. And when you come out of it, fix what needs to be fixed. And before you know it, you will see a rainbow in your life. At least that's some of the lessons that I learned over time when it came to storms in your life. We all are going to go through storms, but they only come to make you better. At least that's what I've learned. What are some of the lessons you learned over time? And with that being said, that's about it. Peace. Not if, but when a storm comes, just know storms are a part of life. Storms can strengthen faith, reveal what our foundation is built on, and remind us we need God. Storms do not last forever. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Storms not always a sign that God abandoned you. Storms sometimes are a place where God teaches you to trust Him more deeply. Just know that God is in the midst of it all. Now go with God and walk in the light.
Thank you for watching. Lessons over time with your host, Miss Vicky. Shouting truth in love time. Lonely clouds with lessons over time.